Hi, I'm Sonya White Jaguar. Welcome to this edition of White Jaguar Wednesdays, my semi-monthly series where I discuss spiritual subjects inspired by your questions. In my last video, I talked about how to know that your spiritual experiences are real and not your imagination, and I briefly mentioned remote viewing. Now, Alan Rickman came to me while I was preparing to make today's video, and he made a suggestion. He said, since you mentioned remote viewing last time, why don't you make a video about that? And I thought that was a great idea, so I thank Alan for submitting the question for today. First, I'll talk a little about remote viewing and my experience with it, and then I'll give you the opportunity to practice remote viewing. Okay, so if you're new to the subject, what is remote viewing? Okay, remote viewing is the practice of getting impressions of a target, some object at a distance. It's real, it's been scientifically validated, it's nothing scary. Anyone can do it. It's a tool you can use to help you develop your clairvoyance. If you want to have better communication with Alan, other spirit guides, and loved ones on the other side, you can use remote viewing to help you develop your skill. But it's important to remember that it's not an exact science. Some people have better success with it than others. Okay, and successfully tuning into a target and getting accurate impressions, they can vary from session to session. Now, I've done remote viewing in a class setting. The instructor had targets. They were photos for us to tune into, and each target was assigned a number. And what we did was we wrote down that number on a piece of paper, and then she guided us through a short meditation. And afterward, we recorded our impressions of the target. And I remember one time I just wrote words, and another time I actually received a vision. So I drew what I saw. I saw a circle on a stand. And afterward, when the instructor revealed the target, it was a photo that was taken at an amusement park. And one of the attractions visible in the photo was a Ferris wheel. So I knew as soon as I saw that Ferris wheel, I said, oh, that's the circle on a stand that I had seen. So I've also done remote viewing on my own. One time, this was probably 15 years ago, I was curious about the planet Jupiter. Now, I'm not an astronomer, and I've never studied the chemical composition of the planets, but I'm a naturally curious person, and I just thought it would be an interesting experiment to tune into Jupiter to see what I could see. So the first thing I did was to stand at the outer edge of the planet, and I put my hand into the atmosphere. And suddenly I felt an uncomfortable burning sensation in my throat. So I pulled my hand out, and without even thinking, I said to myself, methane, there's methane in there. And I realized that I had to put more spiritual protection on myself. So I encased myself in white light, and I tried again. I put my hand into the atmosphere again, and I was fine that time. And I had sensed that Jupiter was composed of two main elements, and I looked around at some of the storm systems, and I could feel intense electrical charges. And later I went online and I Googled information about Jupiter to see if I could validate the impressions that I had gotten. And I learned that Jupiter is comprised mainly of only two elements, hydrogen and helium, and there are trace amounts of other chemicals, including methane. I didn't know that beforehand. So again, I just want to reiterate that remote viewing is real. You can use it to help you validate your spiritual experiences because you can verify your impressions afterwards. Okay, so now I'd like to give you the opportunity to practice remote viewing. If you've never done this before, just be open to the experience, allow yourself to experiment, have no expectations, and just see what happens. And if if your experience piques your interest and you want to go further with it, I would encourage you to do more research and continue to practice and just have fun with it. Okay, so go ahead and grab a sheet of paper, preferably unlined, like a sheet of computer paper or construction paper, and a pen or pencil. And feel free to pause the video for a moment here if you need to. Okay, your target is a photo that I have with me here, and your target is number 674599. So go ahead and write down that number on the top of your paper. Okay, in a moment I will beat my drum and walk you through the remote viewing exercise with a short meditation. And I'll also invite in Alan and ask him to send healing energy to help you. And then I'll give you about a minute to record your impressions. And don't judge your impressions, just record what you get. You might get words or feelings or visions. Just write or draw, whatever you get. And if you decide that you need more time, you're welcome to pause the video at the end, finish making your notes and then come back, because I'll reveal the photo to you afterwards. Okay, so now let's practice. I'll get my drum. Make yourself comfortable and close your eyes. Begin by bringing your awareness to your heart center in the middle of your chest. Generate a feeling of trust in your heart that you know the truth. You know the truth regardless of appearances. You see the truth regardless of what your physical eyes tell you. You hear the truth regardless of what your physical ears tell you. You know the truth. Sit with that feeling of trust for a moment. Now I'm asking for Alan Rickman, the British actor who died in 2016, to join us. Alan, please send healing energy to all the viewers of this video to assist them with performing this remote viewing exercise today. Encase them in loving, protective white light. Help them to trust their higher sense perceptions so they can tune into the target and get accurate impressions. All in the highest and best way. Thank you, Alan. Feel free to invite in any other spirit guides that you work with and loved ones on the other side, and ask for their assistance as well. Now allow your higher sense perceptions to expand and connect with the target. What colors do you see? What textures do you feel? Are you indoors or outside? Is it dark or light? Is it hot or cold? Allow your awareness to expand even further and go deeper. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? What emotions do you feel? When you're ready, slowly open your eyes and record all of your impressions of the target with words or a drawing or both. Record your impressions without judgment or analysis. Okay, finish up recording your impressions. If you'd like more time, pause the video here and come back when you're done. Okay, I hope you had a good experience and you were able to get some impressions. Are you ready to find out what the target is? I have to give Alan credit for this. Not only did he provide the topic for today's video, but he also flashed a vision of this picture at me, suggesting this for the target. So thank you, Alan, for all your assistance today. Okay, so here's what you were tuning into. I'm sure most of you will recognize this. It's a scene from a movie. This is a famous scene from the last Harry Potter film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2. We have Professor Snape, played by Alan, of course, and Professor McGonagall, played by Maggie Smith. The two teachers are battling in the Great Hall at Hogwarts with their wands, shooting fire at each other. Harry, played by Daniel Radcliffe, is standing next to McGonagall in the foreground. There are groups of children standing along both walls watching. There are torches on both walls, and there's a large window on the back wall. Of course, that's where Snape made his dramatic exit a few moments after this confrontation, flying out the window. So what do you think about your impressions? Did you get accurate impressions? I'd love to hear about your experience. If you're willing to share, please leave comments below. I hope that you enjoyed the exercise. And if you didn't get any impressions, or if you aren't satisfied with what you got, remember, every session is different. If you pursue remote viewing further and practice again with other targets, you may get better results. So don't be discouraged. Spiritual work, like any pursuit, takes practice. Okay, well, I've got more questions to answer, so subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you'll be notified when the next video is posted. You can also sign up for my newsletter and get notified that way. I send out newsletters twice a month. They contain inspirational messages from Alan and exclusive sneak peeks at my books in progress. When you sign up, you'll also receive my free guide, How to Quiet the Mind While Meditating, which has a variety of techniques to help you make the most of meditation. If you have a question that you'd like answered in a future video, feel free to leave a comment below or email me at sonya@sonyawhitejaguar.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.